everyone, it's Heather with Tropica Exotica, and today we're going to talk about spiritual awakening process. Why exactly is this happening? So in my first set of videos, we went over the spiritual awakening process, the physical symptoms, emotional symptoms, and then I kind of went over my own personal experience. So the reason why I'm trying to kind of start from the beginning is because I know when I started having my spiritual awakening process, I was very confused and it was really difficult to put together information. And so what I was trying to do is to kind of start from the beginning, talk about the spiritual awakening process, and now we're going to talk about why exactly this is happening. So this is also going to be a series of videos, and so today should be very interesting. It's going to kind of go into, take a deep dive, so just, be patient because there's probably a lot of things that are going to be overwhelming, and so eventually I will explain all of this stuff, but there's a lot to take in, and so you just have to be patient with yourself as you go through this process. So one of the things that will happen when you go through this process is you start to have experiences, and then you start Googling different things, and then maybe sometimes you watch YouTube videos, you read books, you read online articles. So during this process, you're probably going to hear about everybody talk about this date, December 21st, 2012. And so the reason why that date is important is because it was the date on the Mesoamerican long calendar associated with the Mayan civilization that was the end of a Baktun. And I know that's kind of hard to pronounce and say, but that's something that I was hearing about, and it's like, what is this? I don't know what they're talking about. But basically December 21st, 2012 was the 13th Baktun. And so basically that meant an end of an era. So we're going to get a little bit more into that in just a little bit. So just to kind of provide a background of what I was hearing when I started going through this process, trying to piece together why exactly this was happening. I didn't really understand it. So one of the things that you'll hear people talk about is this change from 3D to 5D. And so again, that's another kind of complicated topic that we'll probably have to go into more detail later. But that's part of what the Y is. And so the D stands for dimensions. And so as you go through this process, you're going to realize that there's a bunch of different dimensions. So we exist in the third dimension. And then you'll also hear about people talk about this planetary alignment. You'll hear planetary alignment. It's like, what is this planetary alignment they're talking about? You'll also hear people talk about these waves of energy or consciousness. You'll also hear people talk about us, as in Earth, moving into this high energetic place in the universe. You'll also hear people talk about a 26,000 year cycle. You'll also hear people talk about a 13,000 year cycle. And then a lot of times people start to talk about the age of Aquarius. You'll also hear people talk about the photon belt. So it honestly wasn't until recently when I honestly started to put together all of these pieces of things that I've been hearing. And so it's been probably 5 years since my spiritual awakening process happened. And so in order to understand why the spiritual awakening process is happening, you have to look at it from a larger perspective. And so what I'm going to try to do is try to show you exactly how this all ties together. So just be patient for just a second, and I'll go over a graph with you. Okay, so hopefully you can see this pretty good. So this source of information is from a website called aligningwiththeearth.com, and the article is the Galactic Photon Belt Part 2. So I've taken the concepts and the image from that website. So that's what we're going to walk through. So first of all, we have to start with our own solar system. So I've kind of drawn it here. You can see the Earth is rotating around the Sun. And so this is a 365-day cycle that our Earth rotates around our Sun. And then our solar system is rotating around this I don't know how to pronounce it. Alcyone, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. And that is called the central sun. And so this is a part of the Pleiades, which is also known as the Seven Sisters system. And so there's a series that all rotate around this main Alcyone central sun. And so our solar system is a part of this rotation. And so our entire solar system rotates around this sun, and it takes 26,000 years to complete one entire rotation. And so this right here that's kind of represented in this blue, that is the photon belt. And so I had a hard time drawing this, but it's kind of like a donut shape. And so this is the center star, and then all of these are rotating around that central one. And this is the photon belt. And I know I've not really drawn it to scale, but basically what is happening is our solar system, the entire solar system is going into this photon belt. And so that's why this date was important. And so this 2,000 years represents the time that our solar system will, be in this light phase. And then it's considered, I guess it's considered the 2,000 years of light, and this is considered 11,000 years of darkness. So when you hear people talk about a 26,000 year cycle, this is what they're talking about. Our solar system rotating around this central sun. And this 2,000 years is important, and we'll get to that in a little bit. And so the other part of this, you'll hear a lot of people talk about the galactic central sun. And so what happens is this entire system rotates around a galactic central sun in a 225 million year cycle. And so why is this important? Okay, so this is where things will get interesting. Okay, and I'm going to stand up for a little bit and talk through this, and then I'll kind of come back here. But basically, as our solar system enters this photon belt, which again I have not drawn to scale, but it's this energy field, this photon belt, of high energy. So now I'm going to talk about exactly what this means. Okay, so I know that was a little out there, but what you have to understand is this is part of a bigger picture. So, we sit here and think about our own little world, what's going on, but there's so much more to what is going on and what's out there than we kind of have been focused on. And so this is just part of the process that you start, as you start to wake up, you understand, oh, okay, things are really completely different than what I thought. And so understanding about why we're going through this process is very important. And so as we have entered in this photon belt, which is basically very high energy, and I didn't go into it, but at the bottom of this graph I showed the galactic central sun, and then the central sun, Alcyone, however you pronounce it, and then our sun. So when you hear people talk about these energies coming through the galactic sun or the galactic central core. That's what they're talking about, because it's coming all the way there through this central sun and then to our sun and then to Earth. And so these energy waves, since we're in the photon belt now, they have been increasing in frequency, how often they're occurring more and more. And so we'll talk about how that impacts the Earth and the Schumann resonance at another time. But basically what these energies are doing, they're very high energy vibration. And so your body, as it's being bombarded with these energies, one of the things that it can do is it can make you very tired. And so, you know I hear a lot of people talking about how tired they are, and it's kind of like, do they know what's going on? Do they know what's going on? Most likely they don't. But what you want to do is just realize that these energies are coming in and they're going to make you tired, and don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with you. That's part of the process. We're just integrating these energies. And sometimes these energies will actually make you very wired and you can't go to sleep. It will depend on the energy and the person. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that are at play, and nobody, I don't think, can really say exactly why it'll affect you one day one way and another day a different way. And so these energies are going to continue coming over us, washing over us, and the impacts are that you're going to have to do your inner work, because these high vibration energies are forcing these dark, negative emotions and energies out of our body. And so, that's part of the reason why you will have bouts of crying. It's, you releasing these energies, and these symptoms, these physical symptoms and emotional symptoms, are all directly tied to these incoming energies coming in. And the purpose of these energies is to raise our vibration. It's a higher energy, it's photonic energy, it is affecting our DNA, it's having a lot of effects on our physical body. And one of the things that you might notice, I know that I've been aware of what's going on and I kind of see it play out, but a lot of people, it will make people act out, because these energies are very strong, and if people haven't done their inner work, they're probably going to act out. And depending on the person's soul purpose, they might choose to leave the earth. If they were not planning on staying here for this process, so they might just, leave. And so, what is it that we need to do? Basically, what you want to do is just to work on yourself. Take care of your physical body, your emotional body, your spiritual body. You want to make sure that you rest. I know that we work during the day and we can't always just take a nap. So when you can, I would go ahead and take that nap. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that, you just need to realize that's what's happening, and to just honor your body at that time. You also want to make sure that you drink plenty of water, that you eat healthy food, that you ground yourself. As I said earlier, just make sure that you take care of all aspects of yourself. And also what you want to try to do is make sure that you operate from a place of compassion towards others, and to try to operate from a place of love at all times. Because that's ultimately what we're here for, is to love one another, and that's what these energies are going to help us get to that place. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll have more videos on this topic. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.